Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop, and today we're going to be talking about the top Adidas hoop shoes right now. So I looked at adidas.com, saw what shoes were available, and there's still some really old shoes available on the site, which is kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Like a shoe on this list I think came out like 2 years ago, or maybe, yeah, I think like 2 years ago. It's been a while, you know? So if you guys do want to cop any of these shoes, I'll try to leave the free link in the description box. Adidas has been killing it recently as far as performance goes, but some shoes are not so good and some shoes are really, really good. I feel like it's pretty hit or miss for Adidas, you know what I mean? So again, links will be in the description box, but let's get it started off with number 7. Also, another thing that I noticed is that Adidas doesn't really have that many hoop shoes, you know what I mean? So, which I guess is a good thing, you know, keep your selection, you know, kind of small, you know what I mean? If you have too many shoes, then it's kind of confusing for the consumer, you know, illusion of choice. But anyways, we have 7 shoes on this list. Let's get it started off with last place, and that's the Trae Young 3. It retails for 140 bucks. I feel like I'm a little bit of a hater, you know what I mean, the Trae Young 3, but I really didn't like playing in that shoe because of how bulky it was, you know what I mean? So it's not terrible though. It's not terrible. I definitely feel like it's pretty nice, and I also feel like there's a market for it. You know, I'm sure there's definitely people that enjoy playing in the Trae Young 3. But for me, it was not the best shoe. And if you guys saw the actual review, I had the same size shoe. You know what I mean? Like the Trae Young 3 would be one size, right? And I had another shoe, and then the Trae Young 3 would be literally like a couple of inches longer, you know what I mean? And that probably has something to do with all the padding and also like the cushion protruding out here as well, which made the overall shoe feel pretty bulky, you know what I mean? So it wasn't super heavy as far as the actual like number weight goes, so that's a good thing. However, I don't really care about the number weight as much as I care about how the shoe feels, and it felt bulky. So it just felt like really bulky. I didn't really feel quick when I was playing it. The traction was alright. The cushion was really nice though. The cushions, underfoot cushion's nice. The overall midsole had nice compression and stuff, but just because of that, I didn't like it. But again, if you don't really care about that, I feel like the Trae Young 3 is a pretty good option. So there's that. Moving on to number 6, we got the Dame 8 extended play, right? And so the Dame 8 has been out for quite a while, almost 2 years now, and then the Dame 8 extended play just came out a couple of months ago. And hopefully the Dame 9 is coming out soon, because Damian Lillard was playing in a different shoe a couple of weeks ago, I think during practice. So hopefully that was the Dame 9 that is coming out soon. I don't know what Adidas is doing with the Dame line, but the extended play version is not as good as the regular version, because first of all, it's way heavier, way heavier. It's like 15, 16 ounces. The regular Dame 8 is like 12, no, I think like 13 ounces. So it's a lot lighter. Also, it has a midfoot strap, which doesn't really do a whole lot. It improves the lockdown a little bit in the midfoot, but not too much. You know what I mean? You don't really need it. So it's heavier. So I didn't really like that either. And that's also another theme of Adidas hoop shoes, is that their shoes are freaking heavy. You know what I mean? But yeah, the Dame 8 extended play is a little bit better than the Trae Young 3, but still not amazing because of the weight, in my personal opinion. Also, a little bit too much cushion for me personally, right? So if you want a lot of cushion, that shoe is really nice. You know, you have a lot of compression, impact protection is great. Court feel isn't the best. So I didn't really like the Dame 8 all too much, and the same thing with the extended play version. They just made it heavier, which why would you? That's worse. You know what I mean? If you want to make an extended play version, wouldn't you want it to be lighter so you can play more? Play for an extended period of time, right? I don't know. But yeah, the Dame 8 extended play, not my favorite shoe on this list, but it is a little bit better than the Trae Young 3 in my personal opinion. Traction is also a little bit better, and also support is a little bit better as well. But yeah, there is number 6. Moving on to number 5, we have a budget shoe, which I think is better than the Trae Young 3 and the Dame 8 extended play, which is a Trae Unlimited, right? And it's on sale for 48 bucks on Adidas.com right now. And the Trae Unlimited surprised me. I got it. I was like, I'm not that excited to play in it. But then I played in it and then tested it. And the Trae Unlimited is actually a really nice budget shoe, right? So the cushion surprised the hell out of me. The full length bounce is actually soft and also has a little bit of bounce, which feels great. Also, the traction is pretty dang nice. You know what I mean? It wasn't top tier as far as like stop goes and also dust performance, but it was really solid. You know, I would say it's better on dust performance than the Trae Young 3 and the Dame 8. But yeah, it's a lot cheaper, it's a lot lighter, and also a lot more minimal feeling as well. So I don't know how they did it, but they made the budget shoe for Trae Young way better than Dame's signature shoe and also Trae Young signature shoe, in my personal opinion, right? So, yeah, Trae Unlimited, don't sleep on it. It's also going for very, very cheap right now, right? All right, moving on to number 4, and that is the Don HU5. It retails for 120 bucks. The Don HU5, the colorways that have come out are really, really dope, and also the overall silhouette looks great. You know, what they did with the design, I think they did a great job. And if you're looking for a lot of support, the Don HU5 has a lot of support. One of the most supportive shoes that I've tested in recent memory, you know? So it has that upper, right? And it's pretty dang stiff at first. There's not a whole lot of pinching, it's not painful, but it's a little stiff, you know what I mean? But once you break it in, it does get a little bit softer. It conforms to your foot somewhat well, but one thing that I really liked about that shoe is just how secure my foot felt into the shoe. The cushion also is pretty dang nice. Has a good amount of compression in the heel. Stepping comfort, I definitely feel like, you know, they should have done a little bit better, especially comparing to the other shoes on this list, but it's all right. But then the overall Light Strike foam, the cushion is really soft, so that felt great. And also the traction was overall very, very solid. It did pick up a little bit of dust, and also it wasn't the best for stops. It wasn't like top tier performance for traction, especially even on a clean court. However, it's just a really solid shoe that I like to play in. And I felt pretty responsive and pretty quick in it. Also, it wasn't super duper heavy, especially comparing it to some of the other shoes on this list, right? So honestly, the Don HU5 is a great option. All right, moving on to number 3, we got a shoe that's still available on Adidas.com for some reason. And this shoe came out like 2 years ago, and it's the BYW Select, and it retails for 150 bucks, but there are some colorways on sale. So yeah, the BYW Select is a very, very good performer. It's actually lighter. You know, it's still kind of heavy, but it's light for Adidas standards, right? Because Adidas makes pretty heavy shoes. But yeah, the herringbone traction pattern with the pods, the traction is really good, solid traction. Also, the cushion is very nice. It has boost, and then has that kind of like cutout in the heel as well. So step and cover is also pretty dang good. Support's great with the foam coming up on the sides, you know, acting as a sidewall. So lateral containment is great as well. We have that mesh material, which is pretty thin. Support was great as well. So the BYW Select is a really good all-around shoe that Adidas has to offer, and I feel like most people will enjoy playing in that shoe, you know, no matter what position, no matter what your play style is, right? All right, moving on to number 2, and that's the Harden Volume 7, right? And the Harden Volume 7 is a banger, and this was number 1 on the list, you know, for a while now, but another shoe came out, which we'll get into. But yeah, the Harden Volume 7 is super duper nice, but I'm very, very excited about the Harden Volume 8. Harden has been playing in the Harden Volume 8, and it looks great. Some of the PEs that he's been rocking look absolutely amazing. But yeah, anyways, the Harden Volume 7 is pretty dang expensive, but it is on sale. Some colorways are on sale for like 120, 130 bucks. But yeah, the traction is top tier. It does pick up a little bit of dust, right? But the grip, the bite is really, really good, and it's a very easy wipe. Also, the cushion is super duper nice. Light Strike / Boost blend is really, really comfortable, especially for stepping comfort. Court feels great. The support's great as well. It's super cozy for the upper. And yeah, I felt really quick when I was playing it, right? Even though it is kind of heavy, or it's very, very heavy. It's like 15.3 ounces, 15.5 ounces, which is pretty dang heavy. Also, it does feel a little bulky as well for the overall upper because of all of this, you know, especially in the midfoot. But because of how low to the ground you are and how secure my foot felt when I was playing in this shoe and how good the traction was, I didn't really feel slow or anything like that. I actually felt very quick, like I just said, when I was playing on the Harden Volume 7. So yeah, the Harden Volume 7 is an absolute banger, and I feel like most people will enjoy it. I guess the only thing is if you want a super lightweight shoe, but like I said, usually for me too, I want a very lightweight shoe and also very minimal shoe when I'm playing, but I didn't really mind it all too much here in the Harden Volume 7. But again, if you do mind it, there is another option on this list, which is number 1. That is the AE1, which I'm actually wearing right now. I don't know if you guys can see. Hopefully you can see. Right. Anyway, so the AE1 is, it feels like the Harden Volume 7, but better, you know what I mean? So the overall weight, the number weight is pretty much identical to the Harden, so it's a pretty heavy shoe for the AE1. It's like 15 point something ounces, right? But it feels a lot less bulky, right? So with the support wings, it's a lot thinner, right? With all this puff here in the Harden Volume 7, especially here in the midfoot, also here in the toe box, it does feel a little bulky here in the Harden Volume 7, but with the wing, right, with the plastic wing, it feels thinner, so it does feel a lot less bulky in the AE1s, right? So I do like that, but also the traction is better. The traction just bites so dang hard. You know what I mean? The Harden Volume 7 bites really hard. It has top tier traction, but the AE1 bites even harder, which is kind of crazy. So the AE1 has better bite on a clean court. Also, it does pick up a little bit less dust. The cushion is also better. You know what I mean? It's using jet boost, and the step-in comfort is a little bit softer than the Harden Volume 7. Although it doesn't really have any like compression from the actual like midsole, you know what I mean, from the actual like outside of the shoe. There's not a whole lot of compression, just like in the Harden Volume 7 with this cage, but the step-in comfort is a little bit better, but also court feel is just as good as the Harden Volume 7. Also, the AE1 is just as supportive as the Harden Volume 7 as well, so yeah, I'm very happy about the AE1 and what they did with the performance side of things, and it's also a lot cheaper. It's only 120 bucks for the AE1. So yeah, that is my number one pick for a best Adidas hoop shoe, and there are some really dope colorways coming. I'm not a huge fan of the blue colorway. The blue colorway looks alright, but the All-Star colorway looks great, and also like the Stormtrooper colorway that Anthony Edwards was wearing a couple days ago was also really dope. So anyways, that's my list. Tell us what your list would be down in the comment section below, because I'm sure a lot of people will disagree with my list. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like my list is pretty solid though. AE1 on top, number 1, and the Harden Volume 7, number 2. I feel like a lot of people would agree. I don't know. But again, tell us your thoughts down in the comment section below. And also, if you guys do want to copy any of these shoes, I'll try to leave my link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.